When Jurgen Klopp was leaving Liverpool, he had one big concern. He was worried whether Liverpool could find the right replacement for him. He was worried whether they could find a capable manager who would be able to get the most out of the squad he had left, and he was right to worry. Klopp is a larger-than-life figure at the club. He took over an average team that was only good enough to finish 8th behind Southampton and West Ham and took them all the way to the top. Replacing someone like him is always going to be difficult, but for a long time, it seemed like Liverpool got it spot on. Arne Slot came in and won the Premier League title in his first season, something Klopp was able to do only once in his 9 seasons. Slot's second season was supposed to be even better. Liverpool splashed over $400 million for new players, broke the transfer record twice, and were ready to dominate not only in England, but also in Europe. But after a great start, it all came crashing down. But how does a manager win the league by 15 points in his first season and then watch it fall apart so quickly in his second? Stay tuned, because the answer is much more complicated than you'd think. At first, Slot's title-winning season might seem like a fluke. He inherited a great team from Jurgen Klopp. He was largely carried by Mo Salah in attack, Virgil van Dijk in the defense, and besides that, they had no real competition anyway. City had their worst season in Guardiola's era, and Arsenal were not really a challenge as well. But if you look more closely, Slot also deserves a lot of credit for last season. You see, Klopp and Arne Slot are quite different managers in their style of play. Klopp prefers more direct, high-tempo, heavy metal football, while Slot plays more possession-based football. Jurgen Klopp's side that won the Champions League in 2018-19 and Premier League in 2019-20 was a high-pressing machine playing quick and direct football, but after a few years, he realized that playing that kind of football was not really sustainable at that level for a long time, so he started shifting towards a more controlled possession-based football as well. Workhorses like Henderson and Wijnaldum were slowly replaced by the likes of Thiago Alcantara and Alexis McAllister, much more technically gifted midfielders. When Arne Slot arrived, he had a squad that actually suited him more than it had suited Klopp. He really got the best out of Gravenberch and McAllister in midfield. The fact that Mohamed Salah had his best season in years was also not a coincidence. Slot pushed Dominic Szoboszlai higher up the pitch, sometimes even as a second striker, where he occupied the back line and left more space for Salah on the right. But while Slot definitely deserves his credit for his first season, his opponents have made his job much easier than it could have been. The real test was awaiting him ahead of his second season. The first big issue he had to solve was at fullback position. Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andy Robertson have been one of the best fullback pairing in the world in the Klopp era, but the former left for Real Madrid and the latter was aging and past his prime. Liverpool brought Jeremy Frimpong and Milos Kerkez as their replacements, but losing Trent Alexander-Arnold meant more than just losing a right back, as Trent was for Liverpool a creative outlet and the main source of chances. So Arne Slot has brought in Florian Wirtz for a record transfer fee, a technically gifted attacking midfielder who was supposed to move the creative burden from out wide to the center. Lots of changes had to be made in the attack. Luis Diaz went to Bayern and Nunez joined Al Hilal. Hugo Ekitike and Alexander Isak were brought in for a combined fee of over £200 million. In the previous season, Slot found a perfect balance in his attack. Salah flourished on the right, Cody Gakpo found his role on the left, and Luis Diaz often played as a striker. But with Liverpool bringing 2 out and out number 9s in Isak and Ekitike, nobody really knew what the plan was. Maybe Liverpool didn't either. Despite all of the changes, Liverpool started the season really well. They won 7 out of the first 7 games in all competitions, but the performances were nowhere near as convincing as the results would suggest. They lacked control and usually needed a late winner to save them. It was just not sustainable, and they couldn't sustain it. They lost to Crystal Palace, then they lost 3 more games, then they lost 6 out of 7 games, then they lost another 3 more games in a row. Nothing was working. Kerkez was struggling to replace Robertson. Frimpong couldn't establish himself as an out-and-out right back in a back 4. Wirtz was still adapting to the speed of the new league. Alexander Isak was still gaining fitness after missing the whole preseason. And to make it even worse, even the established players who were key to winning the title the previous season were looking like shadows of themselves. Mohamed Salah, Alexis McAllister, Virgil van Dijk, and especially Ibrahima Konate. Slot needed to change something, so he tried to gain control by playing with more midfielders. Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, Curtis Jones, Dominic Szoboszlai, and Florian Wirtz were often all on the pitch at the same time. It brought some improvement, and Liverpool went on an unbeaten run of 13 games. But out of those 13 games, almost half of them ended in a draw. Liverpool could control possession better, but lacked any direct outlet in attack and struggled to break down deep blocks. Liverpool has shown flashes of their last season in games against Newcastle, West Ham, or Galatasaray, but those performances only temporarily hid their bigger issues both on and off the ball. Klopp was worried whether Liverpool would find the right manager, and maybe they did. Maybe Slot was exactly the right manager for the squad he inherited. The problem is that the squad is no longer there. The team Slot won the league with Trent, Diaz, Salah at his best is gone. And the real question was never whether Slot could manage Klopp's Liverpool. It was whether he could build his own Liverpool. And it's fair to say, he can't.